Let's make gluten and grain-free, paleo-friendly cassava buns. So first we're gonna preheat our oven to 400 and then we're gonna add all of our dry ingredients to a bowl. Cassava flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Next, mix everything together and we're gonna go ahead and get started blooming our yeast. So we have our honey and warm water mixture and then we're gonna go ahead and add our yeast on top and let it bloom for at least 5 minutes. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add my wet ingredients to my dry. Here I have some pastured eggs, unsweetened applesauce, and grapeseed oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and give that a mix. Next, you can see here we have a dry dough, so I'm gonna start adding the yeast and water mixture first by just scooping off the bloomed yeast on the top. You don't wanna add too much water too soon because you might not need all of it. And then I'm going to start kneading the dough and incrementally adding water. This is going to allow me to control the process of hydrating the dough. And you just want to keep on doing this over and over until the dough comes together, doesn't feel too sticky, but also doesn't feel too dry at the same time. And when your dough starts to get smooth and it feels soft, but it's not falling apart, then you're ready to proof your dough and just let it rise a little bit in a warm place. Now, this dough isn't going to rise that much. This is cassava flour that we're working with, and it is gluten that typically makes bread rise, but there is going to be a little bit of a rise that occurs within like the next 30 minutes to an hour after placing it under saran wrap. And I like to just place mine right on top of my preheated stove because it gives it a little bit of warmth that will help the bread rise. Next, we're going to go ahead and split the dough into equal portions. This particular recipe makes about 4 medium-sized buns, and you can use a food scale to make sure that all of your portions are equal, but I like to just start in the middle, and then from the middle on each side, I will cut each side into 2 halves, and that just kind of helps me make sure that things are roughly equal. Next, we're gonna go ahead and let those portioned buns proof for another 30 minutes. And while we're doing that, we can make our egg wash. So here I have some grass-fed butter and I'm just gonna go ahead and melt that in a pan on low heat. And then once that's melted, I'm going to get my pastured egg yolk. I'm gonna mix that together in a separate bowl. And then I'm going to pour the butter directly into the egg, and that's our egg wash. Here I have my buns proofed for the second time. And next we're going to paint the egg wash onto our bun. Once that's done, we're going to bake in our preheated oven at 400 degrees for 23 minutes until they are golden brown. If you like muffins or toast, these are perfect with butter or jam. They're also great for using as burger buns or hamburger buns, and that's exactly what I'm about to use them for. So stay tuned for my next video on how I make a bacon cheeseburger with these homemade cassava buns.